What's going on, guys? Today we're bringing to you some quality of life updates that are vital for you to know for SCUM 0.85. Since this major update has come out, there have been some really cool quality of life changes that are definitely worth noting, and these can affect your builds for your characters. So I'm going to be providing you guys some new build guides coming up soon in relation to how these quality of life changes will affect the builds. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so that you can see when those videos drop. In the meantime, let's get started right away here. We've got a quality of life update from back on May 15th. If you missed that one, is no big deal because I'm going to go over it with you right now. Now, I'm not going over the bug fixes. This is not about bug fixes. You can read these yourselves. I know you can read the other stuff yourselves, but I want to bring it up to you. The quality of life is why we are here. So First and foremost, all non-poisonous and non-hallucinogenic mushrooms will now create repulsion when eaten raw. So that is different than it was before. So that is kind of interesting. Adjusted some items, inventory size, engineer. This is the biggest one right here. Okay. This is the best one right here. Right away. Engineering skill no longer needed to service vehicles manually. Thank God. Thank you, God, Scum God. Thank you.
Thank you, Jesus, for being mine.
Because let me tell you something. That was a real bottleneck for builds. And here's the thing. Now that you don't have to have a medium engineering skill to, pop the tires off of the vehicles and, fix them up and put doors on and all that stuff, and you don't need a car repair kit currently, guys, this is amazing. So now, if you didn't care about, engineering at all before and you just wanted to have the ability to, get cars in the game, now you can just grind engineering out normally that you'd like to do just for adding base components and building your base. You don't have to grind that for a car now, and you can spend those wonderful skill points on another skill instead of engineering. So that is amazing. And literally the best thing on this whole thing, in my personal opinion. So now that I've covered that, I'm going to be going over some different builds going forward in future videos. Now that we don't need to worry about this, so now we can actually utilize our points a little bit differently. So that is a great one. Next one is remove some food items from the trader pool. Increase storage capacity for storage shelves. Adjusted some item prices at the trader shops. That's something that I noticed. If you're like a server owner, you may have noticed these things yourself. Depending on the population size of your server, it can affect the amount of value you get when you sell something to the trader. And so I know that there's a way to adjust your settings if you're a server owner so that that's not going to affect, globally your entire server if you don't have a whole lot of people on at one time. So definitely look into that. If you're interested in having your own server, there are some guides on YouTube about that, I'm sure. You can now repair construction boots with duct tape. That is a cool one right there. Sandbags will now drop empty bags when used. Electrician gloves can now be cut into rubber bands. That is very interesting. Crafting an improvised mine now takes 5 wire usages, not 5 wires. That is awesome. So if you're a demolitions expert and you're wanting to make that, dude, the efficiency just went way up. Really, 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 really good. Improvised claymore now requires 20 duct tape usages. Rename the M9 suppressor. I like this one. Rename the M9 suppressor to handgun suppressor, as it can now be equipped by all handguns except the Deagle variants. So that's cool. So now when you see a suppressor, it's just going to say handgun suppressor. It's not going to say M9. When you've been thinking this whole time, oh, I have a 1911, I can't use this. The Deagle, I wish they'd have a suppressor for that. So maybe they can get on with that pretty soon. Next thing, adjusted some item weight. That's very good. We all know how much loot is required, in this game. So if there was anything that was too high or too low, I think that balancing really was beneficial. Respawn price will now be modified by total squad member count, not just currently online ones. That is interesting. Setting required fame points in economy override file to a negative number will now properly use the default fame points value instead of setting it to that negative number. So if you're, a server owner, like I mentioned, you can adjust some of these things here in the economy files. Vehicles that crash in water now take 10 minutes before destroyed. That's cool. So now it's not an insta destruction. So hopefully, if it got in, some shallow water or something, maybe you can push it out. I don't know. I mean, I haven't really tested that myself. Maybe you guys have. If you've tested some stuff like that, let me know in the comments section below. Tweaked fame point gain and costs. So that's kind of vague, but I know that a lot of people are upset about the fact that it's so hard to get fame now. So I know that the developers were also wanting to adjust this to not, they kind of nerfed it, to be honest, because, it's a lot harder to get fame now. So maybe they'll make some adjustments for those PvE players out there who don't really want to kill players to get fame. And also the olive exploit, or, farming a bunch of olives. I don't know if you really call it an exploit, but farming a bunch of olives to gather all your fame, that's been kind of nerfed a little bit. So I think it's good for balancing, but I need them to come up with a way for other people to get fame other than just killing players in a PvP situation. Since a lot of you, as I know, like PvE, they just need to bring back fame points killing zombies, or puppets, as we call them. That's what they need to do. Bring them back, and even if it's like a nerfed amount compared to before, even if it's for every 2 zombies you get so many fame, that'd be fine. But there's got to be something different. Anyway, let's keep going. Let's see. Tweaked dial lock animations. Dials can no longer be turned if there is a dial playing animation. Dials also turn at a fixed rate. So if you were lucky enough to get a dial lock, that's fun for you. The dial lock, I'm telling you, man, is a OP way to safeguard your base. If you have a prefab building, you slap one of these babies on, it is pretty hard to get in, unless you're a great dial lock combo picker or thief. Equalized sizes of all quivers. So I'll have to check this out myself here. It's been a little bit since I've gotten like a new military quiver since the wipe. So I'll have to see how that goes in comparison to, I wonder if that's what they mean. If they mean the storage capacity of it is all equal, or if the size of the item like on your body is like bigger or smaller. I don't know. We'll have to look and see. Remove fame point gain when selling items till loot table is finalized to avoid exploitation. So yeah, there's been some exploits with selling. So I guess they've eradicated that. Fame point reward when killing someone is now 25% of their total fame. So that is a good change, because before I believe it was like half of your fame. So it's hard, being that it's so hard to get fame now. I'm glad they did this, because imagine having like 500 fame, or let's say even less. Imagine having 150 fame and then you get killed and then you lose half of it. It's hard to get items, at the traders, because now there's a fame requirement that's been in for a little bit, but fame requirement at the trader to even get access to certain items. So that was a good thing that they did, but there still needs to be a better balancing for fame points. M82 now loses less durability. Loses, that's the incorrect spelling. M82, get some Grammarly. M82 now loses less durability per shot taken. So if you are a sniper, it's less durability loss per shot. Withdrawing an exact amount from a player's bank account will no longer place the player in the negative value. Now the withdrawn amount will be reduced by the amount the player would have gone into the negative. TLDR. Okay. Lowered stamina consumption when riding bicycles. So if you're a little bike riding Lance Armstrong doper, you can have lower stamina consumption when riding those bikes.
How could it have taken place when I've never taken performance-enhancing drugs?
Okay.
How could that have happened?
That was my point. It's not just simply you don't recall. Just
How many times do I have to say it?
Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Did you ever blood dope or use blood transfusions to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
Isn't that great? Added antibiotics to medical cargo drop pack. If you're lucky enough to get a cargo drop. Suppressors now loose. Loose? It's lose. LOSE. Suppressors now lose durability on each shot. So now, you know, I kind of think that's good. You know, you have to repair your guns. You might as well be able to repair your suppressors. Technically, IRL, you know, they do overheat and they can degrade over time, I guess, if you shoot just thousands of rounds through them, you know. But it's a game, okay? Let's keep it real. It's a game. But here we go. Trench foot. Okay, this is another really good one. Trench foot gain reduced. Love it.
Now, are there any questions?
Do you like fish sticks?
Love them.
Because how annoying, like when you spawned in like the snow area, the snow biome, how annoying was it when you get trench foot so easy from having wet feet? It's just so annoying, dude. Like I like a game that's survival, you know, and that's hard and stuff like that. But like you don't want the nonsensical, just like over micromanaging is a little much. I mean, we've all been out in the snow. I mean, if you've lived in an area, I guess, where you can have snow. I say we all, but some people are like in, you know, absolute zero snow territories. But if you've had the luxury of being in snow, you know, you're not going to get trench foot like from like running around in snow for like an hour or 2 hours or something like that. So I'm glad that they reduced that. The next thing is adjusted UMP 45 recoil. So UMP 45 recoil has been adjusted. Sentry melee attacks will now knock out prisoners. So that is cool. So if you've been a little stinker messing with those new sentries and they knock you down, man, you're going to get KO'd. You know, that's pretty cool. Sentries will now engage knocked out prisoners. Ooh. So I guess if you get knocked out, there's a good chance you're going to get your head stepped in. You're going to get your head crushed probably. Toolboxes, car repair kits, no longer needed. Okay, yeah, so this goes back up to the top one here, kind of with the engineering. No longer needed to service vehicles manually. Toolboxes, car repair kits, no longer needed. I love this. No longer needed to install or remove car parts, only for repairs. Now, the only reason I love this is because now it's easier for you to get a car without having to have all these other items. But I really think that you need to have a car repair kit to take a tire off. Let's be honest, okay? I kind of, for realism, I think they needed to leave that alone where the car repair kits were a thing to take parts off. I love the engineering thing not being needed because, you know, if you're not an engineer IRL, but you could have you had a tire iron, you could take the tire off yourself. You know what I'm saying? It's not that difficult for the average individual. But as far as, you know, this, I think they should keep the car repair kit in there. So maybe they'll revert it back. But for now, enjoy it for what it is. So you don't need a car repair kit or toolbox, you know, to install or remove car parts. So just for the repairing it. Sentries no longer ignore empty vehicles on their path. So I never really noticed that was a thing. Sentries no longer ignore empty vehicles on their path. So I guess, what does that mean? They're going to step on them? Maybe that's what that means. Maybe they'll step on it. Ooh, that'd be pretty funny. Park a car in a sentry path and see how it crushes it. That might be a fun video. Short pants are now equipped on underwear slot. Okay. Tang shirts are now equipped on shirt slot. That's good. I like that. I like those Tang shirts, man. So maybe now you can have more clothing options instead of it taking up certain slots. All right. Players now lose. You guys got to fix the spelling.
Me.
25% fame points on death and 50% on suicide. So that is a big deal. So players lose 25% fame on death. So that means no matter if you're dying from PvP, according to this, PvP or PvE death, you're going to get 25% of your fame lost. On the 50% on suicide, that's going to help reduce that spawn hopping, or maybe if you got into a confrontation with another player and they had a lot of fame or something like that, and they wanted to spawn hop around to get back to their stuff faster, that's going to deter that a little bit more. So that's something to know. And then improved AI detection of players hiding in foliage. So this is a little bit of a problem. So that means that you're no longer safe in a bush if a zombie, breaks line of sight with you and you're in a bush. That's telling me that that's no longer really going to be part of the, the meta is like surviving like that as easily, especially with mechs. You used to be able to just get in a bush and kind of they wouldn't see you. So I wonder if this is part of them incentivizing you to get more camouflage skill so that it actually benefits you more. That would be my guess, or at least that's what they're attempting. So let's go ahead and keep going. Return of the biltong. So if you missed that, that is back. Holstered items and backpacks are no longer invisible while in boats. Rebalanced cargo drop spawners. If you're lucky enough to get to cargo drops and actually get there before someone else looted it, or get shot in the process. Increased spawn chance on garden plants. I like that. And then repairing through flag can now repair weapon racks and other similar elements. So that is needed if you're, that's a definite convenience thing. Sentries will now properly hear running vehicles. So the sentries are going to be a tough thing to go with, man. They're definitely making them a little bit more of a threat. So now for the next part here, this was another update real quick. So this was the May 19th. And again, please feel free to read all the bug fixes and all this yourself. I'll link it below. But we're going for the quality of life additions because I feel like these are very viable. So the next thing here is, this is the newest one as of this video. Generators will now consume a lot less fuel and will work for much longer on one fuel tank. So as you know, with the 0.85 update, the cooking has been revamped and you now need certain elements in order to cook, in a more convenient fashion other than like over the fire or something like that. So if you want to use appliances in some of the prefab buildings and things like that, you're going to need the generators. So that's nice that they made it a little bit more fuel efficient and a little bit longer for you as well. Nerfed both hand and foot abrasion gain rate. Thank God. This is so good. This is a really good one because I have been so annoyed. It's so annoying, especially early game when you just respawn or you fresh spawn and you got you're trying to chop trees and you're trying to chop sticks and all that stuff and get your kit back up and then your hands are fucking bleeding. It's just ridiculous. So I'm really glad that they're reducing that. And also foot abrasions have been reduced. So realistically, if you want to be more stealthy in that PvP kind of situation, take those boots off, put some foot wraps on, and man, you're a little ninja. I'm telling you. Foot abrasions, that's really good. That's huge. Next thing is when a tear gas grenade pin is pulled while in hand, the gas will now start emitting from the proper location. So that's cool. Tweaked loot settings for numerous items. So that whatever that means there, maybe they'll be having better loot in certain areas that are like focus looting for, loot will make more sense where it is, if that makes sense. Maybe. Any meat can now be used for mixed and meat skewers. So that's cool. I wonder if they're going to go the DayZ route with the old human meat. That'd be fun.
You idiots. I've been bitten, you stupid pricks. Saving me! Shut up.
Nerfed the fame gained for escaping a shark bite. So apparently, if you were escaping Jaws, you were getting some fame, mega fame apparently before. Not anymore. Hazmat lockers are, okay, this is a really good one. Hazmat lockers are now locked with simpler locks. Thank you, God. Thank you, Scum God. So that means now that you have more of a better chance of getting to the nuclear zone so that you can enjoy that more, because now you can get access to hazmat suits a little bit easier and those potassium iodide pills and all that stuff. And also, guys, don't forget that you can use crowbars for pretty much all the lockers to get them unlocked. So now this is really, really cool. The depleted uranium containers can now be force unlocked. So that goes along with the crowbar thing. So if you're wanting to get access to that, that is really cool. Added a single antibiotic pill at the trader. So that's nice. So that, God almighty, that's really good because antibiotics were freaking expensive on my server at the time. And man, when you don't need a whole freaking pack of them, you just need one, right? So this is really cool. You know, but realistically, what would be nice if you really want to get into realism, they should make you have to take them at least for like 7 days or something. I think that'd be funny. So then the 10, you know, having the pack would be more viable. I think that'd be funny if they did that for realism, if they added that. So the next thing here is reduced weight of cocoa powder item to 200 grams. Wounds and okay, this is amazing. This next one is so good, guys. I cannot wait to show you this on gameplay. Wounds and rags can now be disinfected with all alcoholic drinks. Thank God, because I'm telling you, how annoying is it when you had to just only use absinthe, you know, or, you know, isopropyl or whatever. Because, like, in the movies, when you're with Arnold, you know, when you're Arnold Schwarzenegger, you take the rum or you take the fucking vodka or the whiskey. You're just like, you throw it on and just slather it, and it doesn't matter. You don't care if it's tequila or whatever. You just throw it on and you're good.
It's one of the most remarkable products, not only in the United States, but all over the world. We bodybuilders obviously use it as a high protein and high amino acid supplement. Now, it's very important that you take the right measurement here, because... Wait a minute.
Oh my God.
Do you want to get a pump? Buy something from Jim.
So I'm glad they put that in. Next thing, school backpacks can now be cut and repaired. So that was a nice change there. If you finding those little school backpacks in like the town with the school, that's really handy. And it's now possible to specify negative coordinates for custom map center location. The next part, the Kruger and RPG weapon parts are added to the Armory Trader. Freaking sweet. And next thing is closing the cooking panel. This is really good because this was really annoying for some of you out there, and you know, me as well. Closing the cooking panel no longer resets chosen recipes unless the player moves far away from the heat source item. So before, you know, if you move too far away, you'd have to reset the whole freaking recipe, and that was so annoying. So that was a really good one. Next thing, moving cooking utilities on heat source items no longer resets chosen recipes. So that is really good as well in conjunction with this one. Improvised descriptions of some of the server settings. So that's very nice if you needed more information. Now you can have a little bit more clarity for yourself. Cooking bar color is now consistent in all cooking time dispositions. Next, reinforced door owners can now destroy the door with a sledgehammer. That is really helpful if you know, put the door on, you don't want it there. Now you can take care of that, you know, and get rid of that sucker. Removed suicides from kill logs. So that's a little cute, you know, quality of life thing. Sausages do not require bread as an ingredient anymore. That is a very good one because who the fuck needs bread? You just pop them suckers in your... Next thing, reduce bread cooking time to 10 minutes. Cheeseburgers and burgers now require only one use of bread. That's nice. And then improvised sewing kit can now be crafted by using a fishing line. Hell yeah, that is really cool. So now if you're getting lucky enough with the lines, you go and buy like fishing docks and stuff like that, and you find that line, man, now you can make a sewing kit instead of that thread, that fucking thread that I'm telling you, killing puppets for that shit was so annoying. It's just so, it was so sparse really sometimes. So that's really, really good. Portable refrigerator will now decay in 14 days if not repaired. So that is something you need to know. If you have portable refrigerator in your base, definitely interact with that sucker. Improvised new Sentry death animation. So that's a little cool there for, the better game animation. Sentry damage particles intensity will increase as the sentry is getting lower in health. So now you'll kind of have a better idea of when you're about to kill the sentry. And then visually improved the in-game server password prompt. And then lastly, animal corpses should now be more visible in regard to different angles and distances. So that will help you with the hunting since they've revamped the hunting as well. So that is really cool, guys. So I'm excited for SCUM. I'm really looking forward to what they've got to offer here with this update more. And as we play it more for you guys, we're going to showcase a lot more of these features so that you can enjoy the game and learn as you go as well. And so if this is helpful, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can be notified of when I do my next build guide and or gameplay walkthrough so that you guys can be informed with all the greatness that SCUM has to offer. Make sure you do that, and I'll see you in the next one. Remember, be alpha.